becoming Buddha is nothing but really fulfilling the human heart's desire. What is the human heart's desire? You know, we all, from birth to death, what we carry around is, that we want to be blessed. No matter what kind of crazy things we do, we want to be blessed. That is a constant desire that we have. We want to be blessed. This blessed thing in the Buddha's way, this developing the mind, understanding what is happening here, changing these inner bad qualities, which I tell in a minute. And that is how that blessed thing comes. It is not somebody else to bless you. We usually want somebody to bless us. But we have to be qualified to be blessed. And how we qualify ourselves to be blessed is a work. Once we do that, we don't need a particular person to be blessed. We feel blessed. That's what this human desire is fulfilled means. We all, even though we don't express much, want to be recognized as a worthy person. And this is the something sometimes in certain cases that we hear after being married and lived together for about 30, 40 years, somebody feel like, I'm not appreciated. Never told thank you. Never told I love you. You see, these are all basically gone, and you're sitting there not feeling worthy kind of a thing. So these are all in a certain way confused mentalities. When you don't have the proper understanding, that increases with whatever the situation is. And therefore, when we understand this Dharma, we feel worthy. We may not have much, we may not be able to do a whole lot, but whatever we do with our life and whatever little things we do gives us that fulfillment. This is all I can do. And that way, that worthiness is a psychological lacking thing that we have to generate. So then the Buddha, we attributed that quality to Buddha because he has achieved it. And therefore, that quality we attribute to Buddha, that is what this enlightenment is all about. You see, when we are enlightened, these defects that we have going to be all fixed. And even though nobody appreciated us, that's all right. I feel worthy being alive, doing whatever I do. And then the fully enlightened, that means really understanding what life is and seeing the suffering in our life and seeing the suffering around, seeing where everybody else go through. And then the cause for that suffering and what is the solution for what the way it is out of it. And these are the things what you call the Four Noble Truths. And once you really understand, fully enlightened. Therefore, this is the human heart's desire to be free from suffering. We all, every sentient being want to be free from suffering. Nobody wants it, you see. But it is a struggle. So then the Buddha has achieved those things, these qualities we attribute to Buddha. That is what Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa means. And then there is this word refuge. Basically when we come to this, whatever the practice, and we usually say, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dhamma, take refuge in the Sangha. These three things are the guiding principles for us. So then you just imagine, whenever we say, I take the refuge in the Buddha, who we saying this? The image is here. No matter how loudly I say that, the image doesn't hear it. The image doesn't know who is here. So then we still say, I take the refuge in the Buddha. And then where is Buddha? And when we ask that question, usually some people says, this idol worship or whatever something. It is not a worshipping thing. It is a respect for the Buddha, that image that we give because of whatever the teaching that is given to us. Therefore, we are grateful to that. Therefore, we respect. That's basically it. Somebody asked Buddha, who are you, you see? Then Buddha says, I am Buddha, you see. Then he asked, why you are called Buddha, you see? Then this is what Buddha defined it. What should be directly experienced or directly understood, that I have experienced and understood. Whatever should be developed in a human heart, that I have developed. Whatever should be expelled from a heart, that I have expelled. It summarizes all these things that we're talking about. Oh, you have to love, you have to be compassionate, you have to be loving, and all these, whatever the things we say, we have to develop it. And what is supposed to be expelled, greed, hatred, jealousy, and all these, ignorance, and all these things should be expelled. So then, that is what symbolizes the Buddha. So then when we say take refuge in the Buddha, and that is where our refuge is. It's not an individual, basically. That Buddha's image is kept there to remind us what he represented. So, follow your head. Follow your head basically means not just emotionally going along with it. Stop for a minute, reasonably question where I am going with this, what this is. Take your time rather than being rushed to go along with it. And that is what missing basically. So then when we are training, for example, the Buddha says in an example, I was meditating. When I was meditating, I hear this noise coming close to me. And then Buddha says the fear, frustration arises in me. This may be this may be that, this may be all kind of a thing, whatever our speculation. And then the Buddha says, I didn't open my eyes. I stood there looking at my mind until everything calmed down. And then I opened my eyes and I looked, and then I see a deer was walking close to me. And then as I was very quiet, that deer stopped too. All this speculation, what goes in the head, calm down, and then you could see what it is. But in our everyday life, you see, we don't have that. We don't have that ability to stop for a minute until the storm passes. You see. We just kind of react immediately. Train yourself to think clearly. Stop for a minute. Hold on to it. Then say and do whatever you have to do. And that is what a wise person's behavior is supposed to be, rather than emotionally reacting this way, that way. And you see, in our day-to-day life, even to our adult life, you see, nobody really has given us that guidance. Everybody says, follow your heart. That's what they say, you see. And if you end up in a bad place, too bad, you on your own, deal with it. So the training is like that. Not to rush and not to immediately let all your views and whatever comes out and hold on to it. That is the taking refuge in the Buddha. And then to do that is not easy. It is not easy to always use our wisdom or follow our wisdom, you see, because we are, as human beings, more emotional. All what is happening is emotional thinking. This is where we get stuck, you see. And therefore, how we get that emotional balance is taking refuge in the Dhamma, you see. I take refuge in the Dhamma means this method, this practice, this ways, this teaching. The more you become familiar with, and that gives you a little ability to keep your head straight, to follow your head. That is what this practice is. It is not a one time I say it and then I'm done kind. You have to little by little improve these qualities. That improving, whenever I say that, you see, memorizing everything, reciting everything is one thing. But you have to really sit and spend a few minutes with it, letting your mind simply without any whatsoever opinion, this and that, to be there. That is a very difficult thing. Very, very difficult to sit in a kind of a silence. Because whenever we into that silence, we feel frightened, scared, frightened. We're not used to that. But silence is entertainment for wise persons. Noise is the entertainment for the ignorant, basically. So when you come into this practice, the silence is not something scary. It's a beautiful thing, you see. Even in the music, if it is all goes in the same tone and no break and this and that, it's not going to be that attractive. It needs to have that breaks here, there, you see, so that you're going to have some sort of a thing. So the silence always is an amazing thing to heal yourself if you know how to maintain it. The chatterbox, all whatever goes on inside is very harmful to our own organs too. Constantly chatting, constantly worrying, constantly thinking about the past, constantly planning about the future, give you a different headache. It's a different headache, and therefore it can get worse, you see. Therefore, the Dhamma, when we practice like that, it gives us some kind of way to back off. There is a place, that Buddha says something which I really keep in my heart, It says, Patta Paryanta Mattam. Buddha says, Buddha basically lived on whatever other people gave. He used to go out in the morning with his begging bowl, and whatever people put it into his bowl was his meal. He says to these monks, even though you have very little in your begging bowl, share it with somebody, if there is somebody who is in need. I mean, whenever we hear that, it's kind of, what is that? We think, everything for me, I eat everything, and I will be healthy and all these things. That's what our idea is. But that can last only for a few hours. If you share what you have with others, it will strengthen your character for a long time. It's going to go for such a long time that a strength, nobody can pull it out. That is what the interesting part of this giving, sharing kind of. We should be able to share it, whatever little we have. And when we share it, it will strengthen us internally. And then in our life, whenever it comes to a point that we are alone, nobody is around, loved ones have died, friends has moved out or gone far away, you are basically ended up in a particular place where nobody you know, and then you never feel lonely, you see, because you have built something within that gives you the joy and happiness who you have been. If you have been always collecting and accumulating and for me, when you are alone, that's going to scare the hell out of you. Your own mind going to create that fear. No matter how many security cameras and you set it up to protect you, you see. The fear which coming from inside cannot be expelled you. These are the things that we have to realize in life. Buddha says in secret and in private and in public, these things should be practiced in private and in public. And that these are really vitamin for our heart and mind. The other vitamins, whatever we take, you see, if we overtake it, it's going to like, mustache coming out, when you keep taking it. It's kind of funny, but you kind of stop. Oh, I need my vitamin. But you need a different vitamin also to strengthen your heart and mind. That's what this Dharma is. These things should be known, learned, practiced in order to have a healthy heart, healthy mind. The refuge for the Sangha means it is not in a blind, faithfully you follow a particular person. If you're going to follow the person, you're going to be disappointed. It is not the person, but what that person represents is what you're supposed to follow. And then these practitioners, just look at, the Tony and all these others who've been so many years, they have something in their own, something has changed them. They have, as I know, they have a particular lifestyle, that they live in a certain way, and they have something to offer. They have some sort of guidance to the newcomers. So then that is what we expecting. When we go to these three things, we put our head in the right direction, and then we bring our heart into the right direction. And when we are open to others who giving us some sort of a guidance, not blindly accepting, questioning everything, receiving it, useful things you use, other things you keep aside. When we were children, when we were kids, we did all kind of crazy things with everything, you see. But when we becoming adults, we cannot keep doing it. We have to be responsible, certain behaviors, certain principles. Honestly, we have to follow, you see. Because that is what being an adult means, being responsible. So, to refrain, I take the precept to refrain from destroying living beings or living creatures, basically means it is not that careless way of destroying everything, every little thing, you see. If you find ants in your house, mice or whatever, these are basically, immediately you're really mad and you really want to get rid of them. See? That is what our normal mind is. But when we have these three refuge we have taken, the Dharma, the methods we know, they are not there to do the party because they like your house. There are reasons you put all the food and everything around. You leave unwashed dishes overnight, and they think, okay, that is what attracts them. If there is nothing there like that, they won't like your house, you see. So before the summer comes, clean around, keep everything clean. Then they see, we are not welcome here, go somewhere else, you see. So this is the method, rather than, got to destroy this. That's not what Dharma methods are, you see. Problem is going to be there before it happens. Let me avoid it. Nobody is a born thief. After we are born, suddenly, under whatever circumstance, sometimes we have, sometimes we don't have, our mind basically goes into things and started appreciating the value of those things. And then we get caught up with this, whatever the moment, and then we are compelled to do that. Therefore, whenever you see the other one has more, other people have this, that, whatever, don't be happy for them. Don't start at imagining, if I have it. Whenever you're going to go like that, then it becomes a problem. That is why in the Buddhist practice for the monks, in the monasteries, there is a principle. What is the principle? They say when somebody brings something to you, they have to give it to your hand. If it is given to your hand, you can take it. If you just leave it on the floor, the monks usually don't touch it. So these are the principles. Whenever we started to go beyond that and started looking at everything, the thief coming out of us. And then the third one, it says, refrain from sexual misconduct. That means basically, you see, commit to your relationship, be satisfied with their, and this wandering mind, believing the grass on the other side of the fence is greener, kind of an idea doesn't help. And improve yourself. Be happy with that. Whatever work you have to do it. Be satisfied with it. Therefore, grow up. Be satisfied in whatever the relationship you are in. Be faithful. Unnecessary problems, we don't need to create it. Just imagine, you don't take the refuge in the Buddha, your head is in the wrong place. Not that the refuge in the Dharma, your heart is in the wrong place. Not taking the refuge in the Sangha, not getting the good advice, you go with the bad guys, so bad advice. When that is there, your normal day-to-day life, all these killing, whatever things you continue, and then you started to take whatever there is because already you confused. It doesn't matter. I take it. That kind of habit comes out. And then come into no principles, no responsibility, therefore loose conduct is going to be there. And then you have to lie to protect yourself. You don't want anybody to be called, you are a thief, you are this, you are that. No, I'm not, No matter how much you get caught up, you deny it. And when that happened, fifth one, it says, refrain from intoxicant drinks and drugs. Just imagine, when you break all these things at the end of the day, you cannot do anything without a drink. So this is why these 5 precepts and 3 refuges important. This is to correct our life so that we live a productive life for ourselves, productive life for our loved ones, and we become a solution to the society rather than being a problem to the society. Rather than creating problems in the society, we try to be a solution. So that when we become a part of a solution in a small way, that's where your happiness is. I'm so happy not driving everybody crazy, not giving people problems. That is enough. That's what this practice is. Putting your head in the right place, getting your heart into the right place to feel peace and happiness and harmony, and conduct yourself in the right way. Conduct yourself in the right way. If you are conducting yourself in the right way, you are blessing to your neighborhood. Therefore, train yourself, get this idea, strengthen yourself, whether it is life or death or sleep or sleepless night, should be able to accept, kind of without any of these crazy stuff in the system. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti pito bhagava araham samma sambuddho vidyadharana sampanno Sugato loka vidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarathi satta deva manusanam buddho bhagavati swakkato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi passiko panayiko bacchattang veditavvo vinyuhiti Supadipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Supadipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samiji patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidan chattari purisa yugani atta purisa pukkala Isa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttaram punyaketang lokasati tena saccavacchena patu tandatanattayang etena saccavacchena patu tandatanattayang etena saccavacchena patu tandatanattayang Paraniya matta kusalena yantan santam padang abhisamecca sakko ujuca sujuca suvaco chassa mudu anapimani Santussa goja subarocha appagicchucha kalla upautti santindriyocha nipakocha appagappo gulesu ananukitto nacha buddhang samacare kincena vinyu pare upavade yum sukino vakemino guntu sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta eke chipanu bhutatti tasava tavarava navasesa Digavaye mahantava majjimarasa kanukatula dittavaye dittaye chadure vasanti abhidure bhutava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta navaru varanni kubbeta jnati manye kagatta chinang kanchibhyarusana patiga sanya नान्यमन्यस्य दुःखमिच्छय्य माता यतानियं पुत्रं आयुषा एकपुत्रमनुरक्ष्ये एवंपि सर्वभूतेषु मानसंभावे अपरिमाणं यत्तं सर्वलोकस्मिन् मानसंभावे अपरिमाणं बुद्धं मधुजतिर्यं च असम्बादं अवेरं असपत्तं तिष्ठं चरन्निसिन्नो वासयानो वा यावतस्य विगतमित्रो Etan sating aditya brahmametam viharang idamauditinchanupagamma silava dasanena sampanno kamesu vineyage dhammai jatu gabbaseyang punareti tena saccavacchena dukkha upasamentu te tena saccavacchena Paya upasamentu te tena saccavacchena roga upasamentu te महाकारुणिको नाथो हिताय सब्बपाणिनं पूरयित्वा पारमी सप्पावत्तो सम्बोधिमुत्तमम् एतेन सच्चवच्चेन होतु ते जयमङ्गलं जयन्तो बोधिया मूले सख्यानां नन्दिवर्धनो एवं तुह्यं जयो होतु जयस्सु जयमङ्गलं सत्त्वा बुद्धरत्नं ओषधम् उत्तमं वरम् Itandev manusanam buddha tejena sottinana santu padava sabbe dukkha upasamentu te sakkatva dhammaratanang osadang uddhamang varam parila upasamanam dhamma tejena sottina nasantu padava sabbe baya upasamentu te sakkatva sangaratanang osadang uddhamang varam ahuneyam sangate jena sottina Nasantu Badava Sabbi Roga Upasamentu Te Natti Me Saranang Anyang Buddho Me Saranang Varangi Tena Satchavachino Tute Jaya Mangalan Natti Me Saranang Anyang Dhammo Me Saranang Varangi Tena Satchavachino Tute Jaya Mangalang Natti Me Saranang Anyang Sangho Me Saranang Varang Etena Satchavachino Tute Jaya Mangalang Wish you peace and happiness. Whatever this dharma we discuss, you see, take into your heart and next year, whenever we do, you should be feel some sort of improvement. How much the inner peace that you have achieved you. Just the passing years, make us weaker and older and, kind of losing our vitality. Therefore, rather than, even though our body gets weaker and older like that, our heart and minds and our inner stuff should be clear and strong. It is just like you see these water birds, year by year, you see their appearances changes, looks are different, feather, the beard. But one thing about these water birds is they never go out of confusion in the wrong direction. You see. They always go in the right direction. Therefore, that has to be remembered. We always should know, no matter what happened to our body, no matter how we look, weak, whatever, but our mind has to know these principles. This should be appreciated. This should be followed. This should be our strength, you see. This is where the security has to be found. With that, I conclude this service. Thank you very much.